If you ever see a Secret Santa thread on the dark web with a red sleigh icon, do not sign up. If you're already in it, don't open the box. I opened mine yesterday. There's someone in my apartment right now, and I think they've been here every Christmas of my life. I'm writing this from a throwaway account on a Tor board that I'm pretty sure is run by the same people hosting the game. If this post disappears before Christmas Eve, assume I did too. How I found the game. I don't give you my name. It doesn't matter. Let's call me recipient #734B. That's what the site calls me. I'm 25, live alone in a crappy off-campus apartment. This year I stayed in the city over Christmas because flights home were too expensive and my family has issues. So yeah, I'm the cliché. Lonely, depressed, scrolling the internet at 3 a.m. in a room lit only by a string of dollar store Christmas lights. I wasn't even trying to go deep that night. I was just bored. You know how it goes. Normal Reddit, weird Reddit. Someone jokes about real Christmas games. Comment with a broken onion link curiosity tour. The site that opened wasn't what I expected. Black background, red text that looked like it was trying to imitate candy cane stripes but ended up looking like veins. At the top, a logo, a sleigh, but the reindeer were wrong. Too many legs, antlers like tangled antennae. Below it, it's 4NTA Exchange, the original dark web Secret Santa, 10th annual event. Applicants, 734. Status, open until deck 20. That date hit me. I glanced at my laptop clock, December 19th, 23:41. I should have closed the browser. Instead, I scrolled. Testimonials. Best adrenaline rush I've ever had. Thought it was fake. It wasn't. Heard the bells outside my window at 3:07 a.m. Exactly like they promised. 10/10ths will participate again if I'm still here. That last line should have been another red flag. Then I saw the rules. There weren't many. 1. You sign up. You give a real delivery address. Fake address equals permanent ban. 2. You receive a gift from your Santa. You open it. You watch all media included. 3. You must prepare a gift for your assigned recipient. It must be personal. It must be custom. It must prove you paid attention. 4. You must provide proof of gift delivery by Dex 25. 5. If you break the chain, you get added to the naughty list. Underneath that, what's the naughty list? Don't worry about it. There was a big green sign up button blinking like a cheap neon sign. I told myself it was an ARG, a horror LARP, a creepy Secret Santa for bored edgelords with too much time. I'd been doom scrolling for hours, feeling the same numb ache I always get in December, that heavy sense of everyone else having somewhere to be. I wanted something to cut through it, something that felt like, I don't know, an event. So I clicked. The sign-up form just asked for 3 things. Name optional, email required, delivery address required. I hesitated at the address. I know, never put your real address on shady sites. I'm not stupid. But they had a field for delivery instructions, and that made it feel normal, like any shipping site. And they promised, we do not retain address data after the exchange is complete. As for NTA, I put my real address. I hit submit. The page refreshed with a little jingle sound. Actual sleigh bells tinny through my speakers, and a red banner slid down. Welcome, recipient #734B. Your Santa has been notified. Your outgoing assignment will be delivered by 24 hours. Ho, ho, ho. I didn't realize until later how wrong that sentence was. Your Santa has been notified. Like they were just waiting for me. I closed the tab, half embarrassed, half excited in that way you feel after doing something a little stupid but harmless. I was about to shut down my laptop when my email pinged. New message. Subject line. S4NTA. Exchange. Welcome. Recipient #734B. The sender address was a string of random characters, but the domain was their onion URL. The body of the email was short. Hi recipient #734B. Welcome to the 10th annual S4NTA Exchange. Your gift is already on its way. ETA is less than 24 hours. Do not attempt to refuse delivery. Your assigned recipient and their details will appear on your dashboard shortly. Remember, watching is caring and is good. Experiencing past it. And the princess. Under that was an embedded little pixel Santa waving. I don't know why, but the line, "Your gift is already on its way," made my skin crawl. I had signed up less than a minute ago. There is no logistics system in the world that fast. Unless the gift was already prepared. Unless it was already near. I told myself it was just automated text. A template. Still, I got up and checked the peephole in my apartment door. The hallway was empty, lit sickly yellow by the cheap motion sensor lights. Someone had taped a bit of tinsel along the railing. A paper snowman smiled at me with one eye torn off. I laughed at myself and went to bed. It took a while to fall asleep. My brain kept replaying that sleigh logo on the site. Those testimonials hinting at something more than a joke. Best adrenaline rush of my life. If I'm still here, I woke up 4 hours later to someone pounding on my door. My phone said 4:12. For a few seconds, I lay there, floating in that muzzy space between sleep and panic, listening as the knocking came again. Heavy. 3 times. Pause. 3 times. Ho. 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 No one visits me, especially not at 4 a.m. It took too long for me to move. My limbs felt full of wet sand. Ho, ho, ho. I forced myself out of bed, tripped over an extension cord, swore under my breath, and stumbled to the door. "Who is it?" I asked. Cliché and useless. Silence. I looked through the peephole. Empty hallway, but there was something on the floor. A box, wrapped in red paper with little white snowflakes. My heart started hammering so hard, I could feel it in my throat. I didn't open the door right away. I watched, waiting for someone to jump into frame as a joke. Some drunk neighbor, some prank. Nothing. Just that box, sitting there like it had grown out of the old carpet. Finally, I unlatched the deadbolt and cracked the door. Cold air rolled in. That cheap building hallway smell. Dust, cigarette smoke, cheap detergent, and the smell of something else. Pine and cinnamon, sharp and sweet. The box was about shoebox sized. No tag, no shipping label, no tape marks or anything that suggested it had gone through the postal system. Just perfectly folded red paper and a white ribbon tied in a bow. I looked up and down the hall one more time. "Hello?" I called quietly. No answer. I picked up the box. It was heavier than it looked. Something inside slid, a dull thump. I took it inside, shut the door, locked all 3 locks, and put the chain on for good measure. I stood there in the kitchen, barefoot on cold linoleum, holding that red box like it might start ticking. Part of me wanted to throw it away without opening it, but then another part spoke up. The part that had clicked that sign-up button in the first place. It's just a game. This is cool. This is the fun part. People ship weird things for these internet exchanges all the time. Mysterious handmade stuff, personalized puzzles, horror props. I set the box on the table. There was no visible seam on the paper. Whoever had wrapped it was almost obsessively neat, the kind of corners you only see in store displays. I slid a fingernail under the ribbon knot and tugged. It fell apart soundlessly, the ends curling like they were relieved. I peeled away the paper. Inside was a plain, matte black cardboard shoebox. No logo, no writing. I opened it. There was no elaborate horror prop inside. No severed doll head, no bloodied Christmas ornament. Just a single object nestled in black tissue paper. A small, cheap-looking USB drive, shaped like a Santa hat, and a folded note. My mouth went dry. I unfolded the note. One line was written in tidy, precise handwriting. blue ink on white. I was your Santa last year, and very mon. 5. The videos. I hadn't participated in any Secret Santa before. Not on the dark web, not on Reddit, nowhere. That thought sat heavy in my chest as I plugged the Santa Hat USB into my laptop. My screen flickered once, no jingle this time. A folder popped up automatically. Gifts for 734B. Inside were 7 video files and 1 README. And then, at the bottom, a grayed-out file with a faint clock icon next to it. 241-22024, MP4. The date for this year's Christmas Eve. I opened the README first. It was just text on a black background. Do not skip. Watch them in order. Full screen. Headphones on. Merry Christmas. 734B. I don't own headphones. I told myself that technically let me off the hook. But full screen? In a dark apartment? That I could do. My finger hovered over the touchpad for a long moment. Fear feels different when it's in your body versus in your head. Before you open the first file, it's still theory. As soon as you click, it's real. You can't unsee what's in there. I clicked 241-22017 MP4. The video opened. Black screen for a moment, then a glitchy flash like an old DV camera starting up. The image stabilized. I stopped breathing. It was my parents' living room. Not like a replica, not similar. It was exactly my parents' living room from back then. Same sagging brown couch, same fake fireplace with the electric logs that never quite looked right. Same battered coffee table with the scratch my dad made when he dropped a toolbox. Same crooked Christmas tree pushed into the corner, overflowing with homemade ornaments and multicolored lights. The timestamp in the corner read 241-220-17-23-42. Back then, I would have been home from college for winter break. I tried to remember. Were we there that night? What were we doing? The camera didn't move. It seemed to be fixed in one high-up corner of the room, looking down. For the first few seconds, nothing happened. Just the quiet living room, Christmas tree lights blinking. Then I saw myself. I walked into frame from the hallway, wearing the oversized blue hoodie I practically lived in that year. Hair messy, socks mismatched. I dropped onto the couch, grabbed the TV remote, flipped through channels. I watched myself yawn. It was like watching a memory from outside my own head. I checked the file properties. Creation date, the 25th of December, 2017, 2:11. Video length, 3:26. I fast-forwarded a bit. My past self got up, turned off the TV, turned off the tree lights, and left the room. The living room went dark, but the video kept going. A minute of black, static hum, timestamp ticking, 23:58, 23:59, 0. Something moved, a shape, just a little darker than the dark, in the top left corner of the room, where the camera should be. At first, I thought it was just a glitch, noise on the lens. Then, it detached itself from the ceiling. Something unfolded down the wall, slow and soundless. Limbs, or ropes, or branches, I couldn't tell. It slid into the room like smoke finding its way through cracks. No face, no clear body, just that wrong, jointless movement. It stopped beside the Christmas tree. The tree lights flicked on by themselves. Red, green, in the glow. For a fraction of a second, I thought I saw the shape more clearly. Too long, too thin, hanging where no person could stand. The shape turned not physically, but the sense of it turned and faced the hallway I'd gone down. The timestamp in the corner glitched, flickering between 01 and 07 rapidly, then stabilizing at 06. The figure extended something, slow, towards the tree. One of the ornaments, a small silver ball, tilted, like fingers brushing it. Something about this angle felt familiar. like I'd seen that ornament show this exact warped reflection from that exact view. I realized why. The ornament had a tiny, warped version of me in it, from some earlier year, sitting on the floor opening presents. I remembered looking into it once, laughed at how my face bent. The ornament camera. The video ended with a sharp pop of digital noise. My hands were shaking. I sat there for a full minute, the laptop screen back on the file list, my reflection faint in the black plastic around the screen. I told myself it could be faked. Deep fake tech, CGI, stolen family footage from social media photos. Except we weren't the post our whole house online type. My parents' living room doesn't exist on the internet, and the camera angle was from the corner of the ceiling right above the fireplace, right where my dad had hung that little silver ball every Christmas. I should have stopped there. Instead, I opened 24122018 MP4. Different year, same living room, slight changes, new blanket over the back of the couch, fewer presents under the tree because money had been tight that year. Timestamp 24122018-2219. I watched my mom walk in, fuss with the lights, adjust an angel on the top of the tree. My dad came in behind her, carrying a mug, said something I couldn't hear. They looked older than I remembered. I waited for myself. I came in later, wearing a different hoodie, headphones around my neck. We talked. We laughed at something on TV. I watched myself roll my eyes, watched the way my dad's hand landed briefly on my shoulder as he walked past. It hurt, watching them like that, like peeking into a life I'd already abandoned. The pattern was the same though. Around midnight, the room went empty. The lights turned off. Then the timestamp ticked past midnight. The same motionless minute. And then, from that same impossible corner, something slithered down. Same knot shape. Same wrong bend. Only this time, as it moved, it left a faint trail of static behind it, like a badly keyed out effect. The Christmas tree lights turned on without anyone touching the switch. The lights flickered through different patterns this time. Red, 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 green. Red, 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 green. Like a heartbeat. The figure moved towards the tree and watched. That's the only word I have for it. It stood there, looming just at the edge of the glow, as if listening for something. At one point, it tilted, like a head cocked to the side, towards the hallway where the bedrooms were. Then, without warning, it snapped back up, sucked into the corner like film reversing. The tree lights clicked off. End of video. The next one, same pattern. 2019. Me passing through, phone in hand, barely talking to anyone. Midnight, dark, descent, watching, tree lights, depart. 2020. Empty living room. I hadn't gone home that year because of the pandemic. My parents had sent me photos of the tree, joked about first virtual Christmas. In the video, they weren't there, but the tree was, and so was the shape. It came anyway. 2021. No living room. Different apartment entirely. Mine, the one I'm in now. My breath caught in my throat. The camera angle was from the corner of my ceiling by the smoke alarm. The same place, I realized with a sick drop in my stomach, where I'd hung a plastic snowflake ornament last year because there was nowhere else in the apartment to put something festive. Timestamp 2412202-1233. I watched myself alone, scrolling on my phone on that same stained couch I'm sitting on right now. Same hand-me-down coffee table, same string of cheap lights. I watched myself get up, heat frozen pizza, sit back down, TV glow, scrolling. Midnight, lights off. I disappeared into the bedroom. No tree that year, just a tiny plastic wreath taped to the door. The shape arrived anyway. This time, it moved towards the bedroom door. It stretched, long and thin, until part of it touched the doorknob. The metal twitched softly, like it had been breathed on. The bedroom door opened a crack, The video cut to static. 2022. New angle. Still my apartment. Camera vantage from inside my bedroom. From somewhere up by the curtain rod. I watched myself toss and turn in bed, the glow of my phone lighting my face as I scrolled. The cheap Christmas lights I'd taped around the bed frame blinked lazily. At 03, the lights went out all at once. The screen was pitch black. Then, the faint outline of something unfolded from the ceiling, directly above where my sleeping self lay. Phone slipped from my hand. It hung there, watching, for 2 solid minutes, the timestamp ticking at the corner, not moving, just being there, close enough that if it had weight, I would have felt it in my dreams. I think I did. I remembered that Christmas night, waking up in the dark, heart racing, convinced someone was standing at the foot of my bed. I dismissed it as a nightmare. It hadn't been my imagination. It had been him, it, whatever. The video ended. My vision was blurring. I realized my eyes were full of tears. I closed the laptop for a second, pressed the heels of my hands into my eyes until I saw starbursts. I told myself, again, that it could be faked, but the little details, that exact crooked poster on my wall, the stain on the ceiling from the leak upstairs last year, the way my wrist twitched in my sleep, exactly like it does when I'm about to wake up. The next file waited. 241222023 MP4. I clicked it. The site updated. A new section appeared. Gift materials for 735C in progress. A spinning icon. Under it, the caption, gathering from public feeds, checking local CCTVs, listening. The ellipsis at the end of listening stretched, letters appearing one at a time. I clicked away, but every time I refreshed the dashboard, the progress bar increased. 20%, 37%, 59%. I didn't do anything, but I was complicit just by being there. The stream of my recipient stayed open in another tab. I told myself I was monitoring her in case something happened. Truth is, I couldn't look away. She was decorating now, taping paper snowflakes to the window, hanging a cheap wreath on her door. She hummed Christmas songs off-key. People in her chat suggested she do a 24/25th in real-life Christmas sleepover stream. She joked about how creepy it would be to have the internet watch her sleep. Like Santa, someone typed. The message appeared. Again, no one got a username, just anonymous. I tried to scroll up to see the user list. The page glitched, throwing me back to the main dashboard. The gift materials section pinged, complete. In its place, a folder, gifts, for 735C. 7 video files. 1 README. It was the same file structure as mine, only the dates were different. 24122-016. MP4 through 24122-022. MP4. And at the bottom, 24122-023. MP4, 0 kilobytes. I didn't open them. Not at first. I stared at the folder, nauseous. The README file had one line. Good Santas share tradition. Watch before you wrap. I knew what I'd see. Her childhood living room. Her parents' house. Her student apartment. All the same angles. The same creeping shape watching her sleep every Christmas Eve. The same pattern I'd been given. The same thing that had been with both of us for years. Coming back like an annual visit. A tradition. A chain. Maybe that's what this was. Not a game. The site was the wrapping paper. The ribbon around something older. A ritual dressed as a trend. Like carols. Like Christmas trees. Like leaving out milk and cookies for someone who watches you while you sleep. If I sent her these videos, I'd be doing to her what my Santa had done to me, passing the chain. I told myself I wouldn't. I told myself I'd destroy the files, unplug, throw away the USB. Then the timer ticked down another hour. Time remaining to prove delivery. 3 days, 12 hours, 0, 2 minutes. And beneath it, in new red text, naughty list threshold approaching. And did it. 12. The list. I found the naughty list that night, not on the main dashboard, hidden behind a string of key presses I didn't intend to make. My fingers tripped over the keys, hit some combination, and the screen flashed. Accessing naughty list 2023.json. It looked like any data dump. JSON format, names and IDs and statuses. I scrolled. There were user IDs like mine. id 412A. Status, visit, complete. E 529D. Status, pending collection. ED 601F. Status, incomplete, forfeit. That last one had a red flag icon next to it. I scrolled further. A section at the bottom. ED 734B. Status, observation phase. My breath caught. I hadn't delivered anything. I hadn't refused either. Observation phase. Above, a note in the metadata. Rules. Breaking the chain increases entity attention. Recommend compliance. Entity. They said it plainly, like mentioning an item in a grocery list. I scrolled further down, searching for any mention of what happens when someone fully breaks the rules. I found an entry from an earlier year. id 215C. Status, non-compliant. Special visit. There was a link attached. Special visit 215C MP4. My hand moved on its own. I clicked it. The video showed a small apartment, similar to mine, decorated with cheap tinsel. A tree in the corner presents half wrapped on the table. A guy in his 20s sat at the desk, face pale, sweat slick. He was crying, shaking, talking to a webcam, but the audio of his voice was silent, like it had been muted. The timestamp, 2412-2019-2358. He kept glancing at the door. Behind him, something moved in the reflection of his turned-off TV. At first, I thought it was a trick of the light. Then, the shape grew taller. The guy froze. He whipped around, eyes wide. The recording skipped a few seconds forward. The room was empty now. The chair rocked slowly. A faint jingle. The tree lights blinked red, 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 green. The video ended. No body, no scream, no gore, just absence. Moderate violence, if you want to categorize it. Implied, not shown. But I think that's worse. That brings me to now. To this post. It's December 20th when I start writing. The timer in the corner of my screen says, time remaining to prove delivery. 4 days, 0. 5 hours, 29 minutes. It's December 24th when I realize I've been writing longer than that. Let me explain. Time got weird after I watched the special visit. I slept in fits, waking up every hour to check my door, my window, the corners of my ceiling. I taped over my laptop camera. I unplugged the Santa USB, then plugged it back in 30 seconds later because the darkness in the corner of the room felt heavier when it was out. On the 22nd, my internet went out. My phone still worked, but every app I opened gave me the same error. Ho ho, hold on. Naughty Santas don't get distractions. The only thing that still loaded was the S4 NTA exchange page. The stream of recipient #735C continued. She had decorated more. A small tree now sat behind her chair. Her chat was full of people hyping her Christmas Eve stream. At one point, she paused, looking off screen. "Did you hear that?" she asked. The chat exploded with, "Hear what?" "Like bells," she said. "From outside." She shrugged it off, laughed, put on a Santa hat. I muted the stream. On the 23rd, someone knocked on my door again. Same pattern. Ho, ho, ho. I didn't answer. They didn't leave a box this time. Just a piece of paper pushed under the door. No handwriting, just printed text. 34B. Delayed Santas make sad recipients. Naughty list status. Escalating. I turned all the lights on. The string of Christmas lights around my window started blinking on their own, faster, 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 until it felt like the room was stuttering. I unplugged them from the wall. They kept blinking. I yanked the entire string down, plastic clips snapping, lights scattering. They blinked on the floor, unpowered. Red, 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 green. I stuffed them into a drawer. The glow seeped out through the cracks. Imprisonment. 14. The final hours. This part is hazy. I think sleep deprivation is eating holes in my memory. At some point, I decided I would not deliver. I would not pass this on. If something was going to happen because of that, fine. Better me than her. I opened the gifts for 735C folder one last time, selected all the files, and hit delete. The progress bar filled. Items deleted. I emptied the recycle bin. The system chuckled. I'm not kidding. A soft audio file played on its own, like someone laughing quietly into a mic. The folder reappeared. Same name, same files. No README this time. Just the videos. I tried to format the USB. Access denied. I tried to smash it with a hammer. The plastic cracked. The circuit board bent. The tiny red light inside flickered, then steadied. I plugged it back in, desperate, like a hostage returning a weapon. The site refreshed itself. New message on the dashboard. Nice try. 734B. Tradition is stubborn. Naughty list status. Special interest. The timer had jumped forward. It now said, time remaining to prove delivery. 0, 0 days. 0, 0 hours. 59 minutes. The current time on my laptop changed at the same moment. It had been afternoon a second ago. Gray light at the window. Traffic noise. Someone dragging a tree down the hall. Now the window was black. Snow fell outside. The system time read 24122202423. My chest tightened. I checked the clock on the wall. Same time. My phone. Same time. Somehow, without me noticing, the days had gone, slipped, been taken, or the system had simply decided it was time. The bells started then, faint, from somewhere above, like something dragging itself across the roof. Metal scraping, bells chiming a little off-key. They got louder with each minute. As I write this now, they are constant. A high, thin sound leaking into my bones. End quote. 15. Why I'm posting. If you're reading this, it's because either the site let it through as a joke, or this board is outside their control enough for me to slip my story here. Either way, understand. This is not a creepypasta. This is not an ARG. This is me, trying to leave a mark before I'm not able to. Here's where we are. Timer on the dashboard. Time remaining to prove delivery. 00 days, 00 hours, 05 minutes. My recipient, #735C, is live right now. She set up a cute little Christmas Eve stream. The title, Staying Up for Santa, in real life, cozy stream, until midnight. She has no idea. The chat is moving fast. People spamming emotes, gifs, Christmas wishes. Every now and then, in between, a message pops up with no username, just anonymous saying, "He comes whether you believe or not," or "Leave the door unlocked for him," or "It's rude to ignore your Santa. The mods don't see them," or pretend not to. I try to type a warning. Get out of the apartment. Don't sleep there tonight. My message appears. Then it's replaced, letter by letter, while I watch. What I wrote dissolves like sand, rearranges itself. You look beautiful tonight. It sits there, credited to me. She smiles at the screen. "Ah, thank you," she says. The bells above my ceiling shudder, louder now. My door rattles in time with them. Ho, 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 way. 16. Footsteps. There are steps in the hallway, heavy, but somehow weightless at the same time, Like the sound has mass even if the thing doesn't. People in my building should be asleep or out with family. But someone is walking slowly down the hall, past each door, stopping for a second, then moving on. The sound gets closer. Stop. Closer. Stop. Paper scrapes under my door. I don't want to look. I look. Another printed note. Last chance. 734B. Deliver the gift. Keep the chain. Or the tradition focuses on you. I go back to the dashboard. The deliver gift button pulses bright red. There's a new feature. Auto deliver. Let us handle it. We'll send your recipient a full set of their Christmas memories with him. You simply consent. A checkbox waits. I agree to serve as Santa for 735C this year. Behind the pop-up, I can still see the stream. She's standing up now, stretching, adjusting her camera. She puts on a Santa hat, pulls it down over one eye for a goofy look. Okay guys, she says, 15 minutes till midnight. I'm gonna go make hot chocolate. Don't go anywhere. She leaves the frame. Her apartment looks so small. Suddenly, so vulnerable. A single cheap lock on the door. Fairy lights like a target. I hover the mouse over the checkbox. If I click it, the site will send her what it sent me. The videos. The knowledge that she's never been alone at Christmas. And probably, in a year, she'll be here, on some dark web board, typing her own confession with a timer ticking down. If I don't, I saw what happened to 215C. Special visit. The bells slam, loud enough that plaster dust drifts from the ceiling. My lights flicker. In the corner, by the curtain rod, the air bends, like heat distortion, like something pressing against a thin membrane between here and somewhere else. I can feel eyes on the back of my neck, not the human kind, hungry, patient. 5 minutes till midnight, the site whispers through a new notification. The text animates itself, each letter dropping like snow. Ivest. 17. The choice. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm not checking the box. I'm not clicking auto deliver. I won't be the kind of Santa this thing wants. Instead, I'm writing this. I'm hammering it into this text box. Like that alone can change the shape of what's coming. Maybe it won't help. Maybe this post will vanish as soon as I hit submit. Maybe the bells will swallow the sound of my keyboard altogether. But maybe someone else will see the sleigh icon, the red and green stripes, the promise of fun and anonymity, and remember this, and not click. If that happens, if even one person doesn't become another link in the chain, then, I don't know, maybe that matters. The footsteps are outside my door now. They stop. The handle turns. Slow. I triple-checked the lock earlier. It clicks open anyway. The bells stop. Silence presses against my eardrums. I don't turn around. I keep typing. Behind me, I hear the soft rustle of fabric, a weightless weight entering the room. The faint crunch of something underfoot, broken bits of Christmas light, maybe, or stray tinsel. A low chuckle, like someone trying on laughter for the first time. On the stream, my recipient is back in frame. She lifts her mug, smiles. Okay guys, she says, last minute. If Santa's gonna show up, it's now. The timestamp on her stream hits 23:59. The timestamp on my video file 24122024 MP4 matches it exactly. My screen glitches. For a moment, my reflection in the dark part of the monitor isn't mine. It's wearing a Santa hat. My hands are still my own. For now, the thing behind me moves closer. I can feel breath on the back of my neck, cold and smelling like pine and dust and old, forgotten places where tinsel goes to die. A hand settles lightly on my shoulder. Long fingers, too many joints. The bells ring once, right by my ear. On the dashboard, the timer hits. 00 days, 00 hours, 00 minutes. A new status appears next to my ID. ID 734B. Status. Special visit. In progress. The cursor in this text box blinks. I don't know how much longer I have control. If you've read this far, if you ever see S4NTA, exchange on any board, any link, any onion, don't click. Don't sign up. Don't think you're smarter than the story. There is something out there that loves traditions. It loves the moment you fall asleep under Christmas lights. It loves the way the world goes quiet at midnight on December 24th. It loves that song about how he sees you when you're sleeping. It's been coming to my house for years. It's been coming to other houses too. This isn't its only game. It's just the prettiest wrapping paper.